Obviously, I'm going to talk about the Middlesbrough game that I witnessed yesterday in Boxing Day at the Riverside. It was a great performance. Borough were lively. We were direct. Scored 4 goals. Could have scored a few more. Some people say, well, Wigan aren't very good. Well, they weren't very good. But they kept at it, to their credit. They kept going to the bitter end. But we were too strong and too direct for them. And, we need to be aiming bigger, to scalp bigger fish than Wigan. Wigan are in trouble. I'm in the bottom 3. I'm going to go live now. So here we go. Thanks for joining me on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And as always, thanks to the sponsors, Cornerstone, Galaxy Blinds, Borough Ship Museum, RWT, that's Richard Wills Training Associates, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Advanced Utility Solutions and TGM Cars. So thanks very much for them, for the backing and sponsorship. Some of them have been on board for 2 or 3 years. I really appreciate it. But for them, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So it gives me a platform, it gives me an opinion. And if you want to listen to Spin and Bill, you can listen to the airwaves. If you want to listen to a bit of honesty, for somebody that's played for Middlesbrough, lives in the area, loves the club. I've no agenda. Nobody's got agenda with me. I've not got agenda with anybody else. I'm just me, talking about the club I love and support and played for. The team that played yesterday against Wigan was Stefan, Giles, Fry, Lenihan, Smith, Watmore, Howson, Hackney, Jones, Akpom and Foz. That was the starting 11. I'm sure you knew that. We're a day late. Obviously, yesterday, Boxing Day, I just thought, get on with the drinking, enjoy your day, and hopefully each and every one of you had a great Christmas, by the way. Sincerely mean that. I mean, what Dad did for Christmas? Sat with my missus, the dogs, had a bit of food, went a walk on the night, couple of hours, a few mile, and that was it. Just like a Sunday, really, but just like another day. Anyway, the game yesterday, before the game, I mean, I'm not a gambling man. I predicted, I never really do such a thing, but people were asking, what do you think the score will be? I said, you know what, I think it'll be 2 or 3-0. They're really struggling. We'll bounce back after the Burnley game. Hoping we'd bounce back, and we did. But I got it wrong, so I'm glad I didn't put money on it. But we won comfortably, as I mentioned. 4 goals. First goal, Watmore, inside right, just sort of to the right of the box. Good turn. Played a great ball to Foz. Foz rifled it. Great finish. Well done to him. I'll go back in the questions, by the way, when I'm finished talking. Then Akpom came to life. Giles was involved in all 3 goals. Akpom, 3 great goals. I mean, I'm saying great goals because they were sharp, they were direct, they were caressed into the net, didn't want to bust the ball inside the foot, top corner, knew exactly what he was doing, total control and focus and clinical. But hey, Giles, magnificent balls in, magnificent finishing by Chuba Akpom. Talking about Akpom, people are getting on me now and saying, come on in, Bernie, Akpom. He's going to get 20 league goals. He's going to equal your league goals. If you don't know, I was the last guy to score 20 league goals for Middlesbrough in 1989. Now, I'm proud of that, but it's embarrassing. The money we've squandered in crap and tripe and guys who only get a bandora, a cow's ass with a banjo. You know, we've had some garbage through the door. I mean, with some great players, some of the great strikers, different leagues as well they're playing. There's been Ravanelli, Viduka, there's been Hasselbank, Hamilton Rickard scored 16. There's been Nicky Bambi. There's been Paul Merson. I mean, there's been a host of great players. Branca, Alan Boxes, what a player he was. And then you've had poor strikers like Don Gook, Blinken, Lee Fletcher, Alves, Rudy Gested, Emnes, Scott McDonald, Boyd. I mean, all these guys have come and failed. So, Akpom, I mean, a guy in the lounge stood up yesterday and went, Bernie, can I ask you a question? I says, go on. That's why I'm here. He says, You've had a go at Akpom over the years. I says, you're right, I have. I said, that's what I do. I am a critic when it has to be, when I think. Akpom came in 2 years, never really seen him. I know he wasn't getting picked, and when he came in, he done well, and then he had a wee bad patch, and then he was injured, and then he disappeared to Turkey or whatever. So that's no performing. He cost £3 million. But hey, come on, credit where it's due. Akpom this year has showed greater qualities than I thought he had. And I'm delighted for the lad. Honestly. I mean, he's got 12 league goals. Can he get 20? Of course he can. Of course he can. He's got 20 games left to score 8. Well, my league tally that season was 21. Overall, it was 32. But if he gets a league record, good luck to the lad. What am I going to gain or not gain with the lad getting 20 plus league goals? Nothing. I'm a Borough fan. It's better for me on here talking about the Borough and how good we are. We've got a decent striker. My only fear is if Akpom continues to flourish, we end up punting him. And if he doesn't do it, he'll be out. So either way, you can't win. But Akpom, well done. I'm sitting with a couple of ex-pros yesterday and we're discussing Akpom's the way he's playing, the way he's performing. He's sharp. He holds the ball up. He can beat a man. His movement's good. He comes deep. He gets turned and goes at defenders. And his anticipation and being alive in and around the box was terrific yesterday. Brilliant. But as I say, with 20 games left to get 8 goals to make it 20 league goals, it's easier said than done. I think he'll do it, but it's easier said than done. Why do I say that? Well, loss of form, injuries. He could be suspended. The team could be off form. Giles, his biggest line of supply. I think he's actually credited Giles the other day, and rightly so. He could get injured. Touch wood, pretty God that nothing like that happens. But that's the reality of football and in life. Anything can happen. So it's like the old saying, would you rather have a bird in the hand or 2 in the bush? It's like, if you ask me right now, Bernie, you've got a chance. You're the last player to score 20 league goals. You scored 21 in total. But we'll rewind the clock. You've got 20 games left. You've got 12 and you can beat it. What would I take? Well, what do you think I would take? Have a guess at it. And then I'll tell you what my gut instinct is. But well done, Akpom. I think he's been brilliant. Yesterday, I thought Giles was terrific. He doesn't just pass the ball. He looks, sees where he's going to put it, whips it in. He can whip it on the grass, not 50 foot in the air like some of the wingers we've had. But he's as good as we've had. I mean, some say he's flawed defensively. He is. But most fullbacks, wing-backs in the modern game are. But going forward, I tell you what, I bet there's no many guys deliver a ball at him. Anyway, I'm going to backtrack. Apologies for my rant, but I think yesterday was worth bumming up the team and saying how good we were. On the eye, I thought was terrific. Played very well. Created chances, loads of chances. 4 great goals, 3 great points. Disappointing we lost a goal, but hey, concentrating on goals we scored. But in a row, Bernie, not far from the playoffs. Paul Inns doing a fine job. Big win for them. Getting to the playoffs. This is for Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. Let's see where it takes us. I hope you had a good Christmas. Yeah, Mohammed, hope you had a good Christmas and everybody, all your family and whatever. Daryl says, first hat tricks in 2018. I thought it was 2016. Absolutely brilliant entertainment. Daryl, is it 2018 or 16? Hey, I'm not a stat man. Somebody mentioned just that it was 2016. You might be right. But hey, well done. It's another thing. But some of the strikers we've had, I mentioned them earlier. Justed, Dongut Lee, Alves, Ricketts, all these guys. But do you know that the biggest compliment I can give the manager, Michael Carrick? Under McLaren, he'd have been taken off with 2 goals, especially with a game 3-4 days down the line we played Birmingham. He never. And I'm saying, I'm sitting with Matt Proctor monitor, and I'm saying, do you know what? I hope he didn't take him off. I despise managers that take strikers off when they've got 2 goals. We've got the game Thursday. So what? He's fit enough. Come on. He's buzzing a bit right to the bitter end. He got his hat-trick. He could get 4. He actually danced by a couple of players come in to the left on the 18-yard box. He went to hit it and it was a good block for the opponent. But I'm not a fan of taking players off, especially when we get 2 goals. For me, it's the biggest thrill you can get as a footballer, as a striker, scoring a hat-trick, walking away the match ball. My only question is, did they have to pay for the match ball? In my day, you didn't. You just got the ball and you headed off. I wonder if modern players have to, everybody's pulling, they're tightening their belts financially. Anyway, there you go. So, good luck to Akpom. Well done, Michael Carrick, for keeping them on. Well done for getting a hat-trick. And, hey, keep it going. Hey, where are we? Carrick needs to be fully backed with the signing he has made. Believe again. Akpom needs a new long-term deal. Mohammed. I don't know what his contract is at the minute, Mohammed. I don't know if he's got another year. It's up insane. I don't know. But players these days rule the roost. It used to be the clubs that dictated the players. If you look at Sombalonga, last season he played for us. He was in and out the team. 5 goals he scored that last season, and he didn't I don't know if he was offered the contract, but nothing happened, and he just withered away to the end of the season. He walked away. So we paid 15 million. A few years later, he just walked away. See you later, Middlesbrough. We never got anything for him. I mean, clubs have dictated for years. I'm not saying I'm against the players, but if you're paying that amount of money and volume of money, and players are just walking away, so clubs used to dictate to players. Players are now dictated to the clubs. So it's turned round. They weren't great shakes, Bernard, but you can only beat what's in front of you, Trevor Chavo. Hiya, Trev. No, without a doubt, they weren't good, but they kept chipping away to the bitter end. No, they weren't good. I mean, the amount of times, first half in particular, well, throughout the game, we switched it from right to outside left, where Giles kept his position very wide. They would come in because the ball's not opposite side. Their right back would tuck away inside. The ball would get switched. Giles had acres of room to put any name in the ball, to whip it in any way he wanted. And that's what he did. And he did it very convincingly. So it was brilliant. Borough were brilliant yesterday for Andrew Hill. And Akpom was outstanding yesterday, scoring a hat-trick. And Ryan Giles had a good game yesterday. Had a good game. He was terrific. Ryan Giles, you watched the goals. He was involved in the 3 goals that Akpom scored. And I'm sure Akpom appreciates him. Well, I seen a wee clip on the social network and talking about him. So he does. He gets it. You know, why did I score goals? Was it did I score the amount of and volume of goals for Middlesbrough because of me? No. Because of Alan Comfort, because of Stuart Ripley, because of John Henry, because of creative players that played wide. You know, somebody stood up and went, come on, in the lounge about, you criticise that. I mentioned earlier, criticised Akpom. Akpom hadn't done it. Akpom, the lad himself, would say, I've been injured, I went on loan, I wasn't getting involved. The managers that brought me in, obviously wasn't him that brought him in, but whoever brought him in, they weren't playing him. So he had a disruptive first couple of years. And why is he flourishing now? Somebody says, because Carrick's in. No, it's not because Carrick's in. Well, it partly is, but he's still getting goals before Carrick arrived this year. And he's still looking a better player. But he looks a greater player now. Why? Because he's playing it with the same players most games now. We might chop and change 1 or 2 wee tweaks. We don't change 3, 4 players and change partners every week. Akpom knows now, he plays, he's in the team. He plays well, he's in the team. So he's a definite starter now, same as the rest of the lads. And that's a big plus for him. So he's happy at that. He's got Fuzz up front now who does all the work. Don't get me wrong, Akpom works as well. But both of them, he does all the running about and Akpom's getting the goals. Fuzz got a goal as well. That was well done to him. Even though he got as many goals as Akpom. So we're keeping the same team. We've done away with the 3 centre-backs, which I thought was a lot of garbage. I've been saying for years on here, blows the pants off me. If we're that good defensively, let's see how good we are with a 2. Well, we're doing all right with 2, aren't we? 2 centre-backs. Evening, Bernie. I'm glad things are looking up for James Chapman. Yeah, James, I think everybody gets a lift. The town gets a lift. There was a great crowd there yesterday. I don't think, to be honest, I've praised the crowd. Well, I've praised them forever, and I'll continue to praise them. But I felt a wee bit flat yesterday. Not because of the performance, just, I don't, it's a hangover. I mean, I don't drink. I get a hangover, I'll be drinking lemonade and water. So those that's drinking alcohol and getting into the grub-free dinners and Christmas Day and that, maybe they were a bit sluggish, but at least the team weren't sluggish. So that's the most important thing. But it was great to see a full house. You done it in the top league though, Trevor? I was fortunate. I scored goals in the top league, Trev. This is the thing that you look at Brian Clough. Brian Clough, goals per game for Middlesbrough Football Club. I know the history of the club. Brian Clough was the greatest striker at Middlesbrough. He's not number 1 when it comes to goals, but if you look at goals per games, Brian Clough is number 1. Now, the critics and the cynics out there will say Brian Clough never played in the top flight. You can't judge him. Do you not think Brian Clough would have scored goals in the top flight? It's just unfortunate that his hometown club was never in the first division when he was there. So that's not his fault. He had the arrogance and the belief and the inner strength to succeed in top flight. Of course he would have. I played in the old first division, equivalent to the Premier, and then I played in the Premier before Lenny got rid of me. I've not actually grind with Lenny. I got on with Lenny now. But yeah, I finished 3rd top scorer on the top flight. We had a relegated team in Middlesbrough. I'm very proud of that. It was only John Aldridge who Liverpool won the league that. No, was it Alan Smith played with Arsenal? They won the league that year. He was number 1 top scorer. John Aldridge who was with Liverpool centre forward. They were second in the league that year, and I was relegated with Middlesbrough, but I was third top scorer. That's not a bad record, is it? I just say, this thing about, oh, I bet you inside, people say to me, I bet you inside you don't want Akpom. I'll be honest, I've been in touch with Akpom. Not to discuss on here. I'm just saying, good luck to the kid. I tell you what, if he gets 20 goals, I'll be first. I'll go and meet him, get a picture, take him, shake his hand, and congratulate him. It's not to me. The thing is, what I did at Middlesbrough, the modern player can never achieve. Getting in the top 10, there's only 100 players scored 100 goals or more. Nobody in Middlesbrough's history. That's set in stone because there's no loyalty these days. Players come and go, fly-by-nights, whatever you want to call them, mercenaries galore, and we've had plenty of those. That's set in stone. So, yeah, the top 10 will stay forever in Middlesbrough's history. The 20 league goals, I'm shocked and surprised and horrified that we haven't been it, considering the amount of money. 12 million Alves, 8 million Macaroni, Jordan Rhodes, 10 million. Come on. The money we have squandered. So, Akpom looks as if he's enjoying it. He is enjoying it. He's up for it. He looks a good lad. I've heard he's a good guy. So, good luck to the lad. I really hope he blossoms, really do. But as I say, if he blossoms, he'll end up getting sold, and if he falls by the wayside, he'll be gone. We're a selling club. You cannot hide that. That was the word run about me yesterday. Oh, do you think, hey, if he scores another couple, there'll be clubs looking at him? Of course there'll be clubs looking at him. Merry Christmas, Bernie, for Colette Campbell. Hi, Colette. Merry Christmas to you. Terry Collins says, where do you think we need to strengthen, Bernie? Well, Terry, I still think we need another centre forward for backup. As I say, Foz's work rate's phenomenal. Watmore's work rate's phenomenal. But I don't think those two will get loads of goals. To get promotion, I've said it for years, you need to score a lot of goals. You can't rely on one man. Let's say, God forbid, if the guy that's scoring the goals gets injured or just lost a form or suspended or whatever, you need somebody else to come in and chip in with his lot. It's better to have two firing and two scoring goals consistently. Don't forget the money grabber, the silver fox Ravanelli for Stephen Horner's. That's on YouTube. I need to use this YouTube live as well. Hey, Ravanelli. 30 people, look, Rav, I like Rav. I love Rav as in a player, his celebration. He was a character. Some of the players that played alongside him, I don't think they liked him, but I liked him. I remember going to Rome to interview him for Borough TV. I found him charming, engaging. I got married in the summer. Excuse me. He did the clip for me. So, yeah, I'm a Ravanelli fan. If I played with him, I might not have been. I might have had a few ding-dongs verbally with him. I know a few of the players had more than verbal ding-dongs. But, yeah, Ravanelli done the business, 31 goals. But the thing about Rav is, he only gets 16 league goals. 16. Hamilton Rickard gets 16. Nobody talks about Rickard. Yakubu gets 16. Excuse me. Nobody talks about him. It was because Rav was in your face. He was a colourful, eccentric, charismatic character. So he stood out, whereas Yakubu and that were, and Rickard were more within. You would get 40 either Giles putting them in for you. Trev's talking to me. I tell you what, Trevor, I'm being serious. And Saturday I'd have scored one at my age. Maybe even with my club suit on. I think I'd have got one Saturday. The balls he was whipping in were that good. There's a name in the ball. It's not put in blind. He looks up. He knows who it's going to. And it's all about anticipation. For years, we've lacked a shred of anticipation, on his toes, ruthless, clinical, selfish. And this Akpom really came to life and prominence. And it's brilliant. And I have to say, Chuba, if you're watching, the celebration, terrific. I just noticed it again. I watched a replay today on the social network, and the old tumble. The last guy I seen doing that. Who's the last guy I seen doing that? I used to play with a guy. I don't think Borough fans liked him. Peter Beagrie. They liked him as a player, but some call him Judas. But that's not true. He had a family at the time. He left, but he used to do that. Tell you what, some ability to do that. You could get in the circus when you retire. Bernie Akpom on the way to the 20 plus. For Dane Wilson, well, Dane, we've been talking about that, and I've been talking about it. I'm bringing it up. He's got 12 league goals. He's got 20 games to get the rest. So 8 goals in 20 games, without a shadow of a doubt. It's there from, but I did say, and I like to be balanced. There's a lot of things you have to rely on. You have to rely on his form staying as good as it is, the team's form staying as good as it is, avoiding injuries, avoiding red cards. Giles, his biggest supplier, and he would admit that. He has to stay fit and he has to stay in form. So there's a loads of, it's not as easy just saying 20 games, and that's a lot of games to get a lot of goals. I totally get that. And he's flying. But in football and in life, can just flick a switch. Hey, I was buying, this time of the year, years ago, I had about 19 goals. And then one season, I scored a few at the start, and then I had to practice like 12 games. I couldn't hit the main building. I was garbage. I was starting to get troubled mentally. I wasn't even enjoying training. And I was a 1 every 2.5 for Middlesbrough. But that was my worst spell. I'd never sampled it. I'd never been in a rut like that. And I just could not get out of it. So I've been there. I've scored goals. I've had bad spells. I've had nightmares. I've missed sitters. But it's how you deal with it and how you cope with it mentally as well. You know, when you're getting nearer. I remember I was playing for Darlington. Darlington, what a nightmare that was. And I was looking for my 200 career goal. This was in a 10-year period, so I'm thinking, hey, come on. That's a good old feat, that. And we're playing Fulham. Anyway, no, sorry, before we played Fulham, that's where I got my 200th goal. But I had about 8 games to get 1 goal. And in my head, because Darlington were crap and I was being crap, I was so bad, I had back problems, whatever. I honestly was thinking, 8 games, that might not be enough for me to get 1 goal. That's how bad it can affect you. In Scotland, I had 29 goals. I was going for this golden boot. You never got a golden boot. You get a crate of champagne. No good for a non-drinker. 29 goals, and I had about 6 games to get 1. And that I found that difficult as well, because it started getting to you mentally. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about Borough, and it's about Chuba, and it's about Giles, and it's about Carrick and the team. Evening, Bernie. I think he will get 20 goals, and happy Christmas to you and your family with Chris Charlton. There you go. I mean, I asked this question when Chuba had 8. Do you think he'll get it? Obviously, the hat-trick has really boosted everybody's confidence. And rightly so, especially Chuba. Merry Christmas, everyone, for Cade Childs, yeah. Merry Christmas. Darryl says, Patrick Bamford against Leeds in 2018, Bernie. Was that the last hat-trick? Okay. About your superior knowledge, Darryl. Bamford, he was one that should have got 20 or more, but I blame Karanka. Bamford was a rich vein of form. As a centre forward, he had 19 goals, and he kept getting moved to the right wing. Yeah, so I blame Karanka for Bamford not getting 20 league goals that season. He should have. He was good enough. He was in the rich vein of form, but every time he kept getting put to the right. Saying that, when I was in the top flight, the league scorer, I ended up on the outside left to accommodate Peter Davenport. So I might have got more. But you just need to get on with it, don't you? You need to accept what the manager says, supposedly. Need to get him tied down now, Bernie, and not fook it up like usual. Fook it up, that's a good word. Fook, that's a new word for the new year. Fook, F-O-O-K, Cy Brook. Well, yeah, the way he's playing, yeah, you want to get, I don't know what contract he's on now, but you want to get him tied up. What's this? Oh, I missed it. I don't even know how to get that back. Sorry, mate. The other one, and this is the real one, Giles. He's on loan to the end of the season. I reckon there must be 20 clubs looking at Giles. No, his defensive duties as an attacking fullback, wingback, whatever you want to call him, he's unbelievable. He reminds me a bit of the Liverpool lads, right and left, bombing forward, whipping balls in. He's a main line of supply. When Jones first came in, he was, but since Giles has arrived, he's overtook that mantle. Evening, Bernard. I like getting called Bernard. Sean Nicholas. Merry Christmas to you and yours. I didn't think Akpom had it in him, but someone with faith in him and a bit of confidence goes a long way up the Borough. Sean, I think he's got inner faith. And he's got faith for above. He seems to make the sign of the cross, whatever, nail whatever, whoever he believes in. It's working. He's got his faith within and his religious faith, whoever that is. And he's doing the business. So, And the celebration's great. I love it. I mean, if I was a manager, I'd probably be saying, listen, don't be getting all that cartwheel stuff because you might get injured. Well, it's not even a cartwheel, it's like a back somersault. Peter Kennedy says, Bernie, I think we've been much better team since Hackney made the squad. Yeah, we can talk about Hackney. He's so good in the ball. Massive future ahead of him. Yeah, Peter, good point. Hackney's a forward-thinking player. When he gets the ball, his first train of thought is, can he get turned? Can he pass it forward? And I like that. One of my mates yesterday, I hope he was joking or drinking or whatever, but he says he's like Frank Lampard. And I says, Frank Lampard away. He's not like Frank Lampard. When he starts getting 20, 30 goals a season, about Frank Lampard. The thing about Hackney, if I was Hackney's pal or whatever, I'd be saying, listen, you've done brilliant. You're in the team. You're a regular. You're in there in merit. You've got a lot of qualities, but let's start having shots at goal. Let's have shots at goal. Let's have a few goals. And let's check with me. For now at the end of the season, let's get 5 goals, 6 goals. Show them what you've really got. Show them you've got that confidence and strength and selfishness and belief that instead of keep trying to play people, and I'm going to have shots. So, but Hackney, yeah, breath of fresh air. But again, I'm always cautious when young lads, unknown lads just come in and everybody raves about them and got them in a pedestal, and then in next year they've disappeared off the face of the earth. It happened loads. Frank Lampard Senior, maybe. That's for Stephen, yes, Stephen. Akpom is a revelation. At last we have a striker we can rely on. Colin, yeah. Is he right at this minute? If you couldn't believe the transformation in Akpom. Don't get me wrong. He's having a run of games now. He's confident. He's injury-free. He's got a settled team around about him. They're becoming, I'm going to say telepathic as yet, but they're getting used to each other. And that's all the pluses. I mean, Wilder, he kept chopping and changing. Warnock kept chopping and changing. Kept forever playing the straight, the back shite. And I'm saying shite. It was shite for me as a forward-thinking player and person. I know it can still be forward-thinking straight, the back if it's played in the right way, but we weren't functioning right. But now the team looked relaxed. Lenihan and Fry. Who would have picked Lenihan to play alongside Fry every week? Would you have? I probably wouldn't have. What I'd seen of Lenihan, I thought he's all right, but do you know what I mean? But he's just settled in. Nobody's even talking about him. They're just doing their job now. A terrific tonic yesterday with an excellent performance and victory. Welsh Gels continues to be a revelation. This is for Dave Hanby. With stunning crosses. They are stunning. It was in marked comparison to Jones, who looks to have given off the boil. If he can find his mojo again, we'll have an even bigger threat to every defence we come up against this season. That's a fair point, David. As I say, Jonesy came off yesterday, maybe tired, fatigued or whatever. But as I say, when Jones came into the team, and I say it every time on here, you're lucky having Akpom from a whatever fan, yeah. Yeah, we are lucky having Akpom at the minute. Yes, Jones came in, breath of fresh air, direct, fearless, beat a man, drop the shoulder, get the ball, and doesn't do that now. He did it first 10, 15 minutes, he tried it on. Got a couple of free kicks in good positions in the last third. But he seems more content in keeping retention of the ball. A lot of the times he feels to beat the first man. Somebody was saying, would you sell him? If we get the right money, I would sell him. Of course I would. But, yeah, we were discussing him with my mates, ex-pros and that, a few years. And a few different opinions. But we all sort of a few different opinions. But at the end of it, we all come up with the same idea. If we get the money, we could let him go. Did you write down the people who predicted Chuba would get 20? Well, no, I didn't, but I can start the night if you want, eh? How's this for James Stewart? We can start the night. Oh, talking about bets and people getting things right. I hosted Legends Lounge on Match Day, and I'm in there yesterday. So I go over to this table of 4, there's three guys, and I think it's there was a kid there, and his dad, I think it's his dad. He gave me this wee wallet thing, Middlesbrough wallet. I said, thank for it. As for you, I said, thank very much. He's sure? I said, thanks. So I think it's his dad, but he's one of the guys at the table anyway. And he says, by the way, Ben, I heard you predicting 2 or 3-0 today. He says, I've went 4-1. Now, I don't bet, so I don't really know much about betting. I wouldn't know how to put a bet on the bet. I don't want to know. Unlike Big Tony. Yeah, you know well. So anyway, he says, I've put this on, and if it comes off, I win 10 grand. Well, lo and behold, 10 grand. I think he was standing stackers on top of the table. No, he wasn't. But £10,000 he won. So I don't know what odds was on it, what money he put on. You'll be able to work out if you know, but betting, but 10 grand. But he told me that before the event. If it comes off, I won 10 grand. Somebody else will won 3 grand. As I say, I don't bet, so it's funny how these gamblers always tell you when they win, innit? Never tell you other ones they lose. My mates are like that. David Baker, hiya David. But I seem to perform better when I'm in the country. Oh, David, you're in the country. Seriously, what a great result. Could be a happy new year for the team and supporters. Will you be betting all in Bin's window if we get promoted? I'll tell you what, David. I'll come over to your place, wherever you're in America. I can't remember. You've told me not so long ago. And I'll go full frontal in your window. And we're waiting some of the Americans up. How's that? Full frontal in your window if we get promotion. I'll tell you what. We still need a couple of players. In my opinion. I'd love another centre forward. Possibly another wide man. If we get those couple of players, I don't see any reason why we can't really be up there. I really don't. You know, there's going to be a few pitfalls along the way and a few troughs. I don't doubt that. Peter's going to get to know exactly how Carrick's done, what he's done, and how we're performing, and how Ashbourne's getting the goals, and how Giles is the top man, and Markham. And I think people are going to become aware of that and savvy to that. There's no doubt in that, but they're taking their time. But by the time we wake up, the season will be finished. Paul Dale says, where would you improve in January? Paul, as I say, I was still wanting another centre forward. A guy that scores goals, regular. We can't just keep relying on one man. So I would want that. I would want another wide man. See, at the minute, Watmore played, well, Foz was up top, wasn't he, with Akpom. He was up top running about and Akpom behind him coming deep. Watmore started left and then he drifts. And if it's McGree, he starts on the left and drifts. So they're not out and out wide men. They're allowed to drift and interchange. I get that. But I would still like to see somebody who keeps it with. I know Giles does that job. So when they go inside, somebody's following him and he's free. And the right back has to tuck in. I get all that. So he's sort of although he's full back, he's the winger at the minute. But I'd still like to see somebody in front of him being a proper winger. Oh, and on the right with Jones. The higher up you go, if you get into the Premier League, you might not get away with the way we're playing at the minute. Akpom got another 2 years left in his contract. Okay, Amy, thank you about your knowledge. So did they sign another one then? Because he signed what? A couple of years. Well, this is his third season, isn't it? First year, hot and cold. Next year, went to Turkey. Came back this season. 2 years left, okay. All right, and he's here that, well, as I say, if he's under contract, if he keeps banging them in, January somebody might come in and go, we want him. Would we, if the money's ridiculous, we would sell him. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Irrespective of what Carrick thinks or the director of coaching, I think we would sell him because we're a selling club. Of course we are. I remember Gordon Strachan. I'm sorry to mention the ginger one for north of the border who used the spies, but I remember him saying, Adam Johnson, dare I say it, Adam Johnson's going nowhere before the deadline. 2 days later, he was gone. Puff of smoke. See you later. So, the guys at the top dictate, hey, let's hope it's a load of old toss, and I hope nobody comes in, and I hope he rattles in the goals and gets his promotion. We've been too long in this league, 13 years in the Championship. Come on. We're due a break. We're due to get out of this rut we're in, playing the Championship. Just looked at his contract. Okay, Amy, thank you for that. Dan Graham says, I think it was a good win, Bernie. Joseph Slavin, up until recently, this was a game we probably would have lost. I think the team are gelling by playing together. Dan, I've said this for years, but the proof is in the pudding. I played in an 86 team with the same players every week. There was a squad of 14. The majority took his third, second, first. It was a bit of fluke as well. They were good enough. The manager was great and good for the lads at the time. But we'd no option to go and get other players in because we'd no money. So it was a blessing in disguise. Sometimes the old saying, too many cooks spoil the broth. You know, if you've got 300 players and you can only pick 11, you're having nightmare. You need to juggle everything. It's a bit like the lounges I do in the Riverside. We've got X amount of people to host lounges, but there's too many for match day. So some are laid off. It's like footballers. Too many. Back when I played, small squad, gelled together, same team every week, bar an injury or total loss of form, and it worked a treat. And I've said this on here for 2-3 years and on my podcast, whatever, that get back four. Why don't we go to a back four? Get two up top again, get wingers. Why don't we keep the same team? Why keep chopping and changing? And now Carrick's come in, simplistic things, nothing genius, just simplistic things. We're simple players are simple people with simple minds. We're simple guys. Just tell us basics, what you want us to do, and let us enjoy it and flourish. And I think Carrick, the other thing he says is, go and enjoy it. Enjoy it, express yourselves. You make a mistake, you encourage each other. You miss a chance, so what? Get on with it. Before, under managers, we looked strained and as if we weren't enjoying the game. Timmy says, do you think Paddy McNair, be sold in January, hasn't played in a while? I was asked that yesterday, Timmy. Do you know what? If I was Paddy, if I was a club, I'd probably think, yeah, cash in, because we're not playing him. And if I was Paddy, I'd want away. I'm being honest, I'd want away. If I was sitting on the bench now thinking, new managers come in, obviously doesn't fancy me, I've not featured, team are winning, they're playing as good, if not better than when I was in, maybe it's time to move on. Don't forget, Paddy's an international player, Northern Ireland international. And he's a good player as well, Paddy. I don't think he's upset his apple cart. I don't think he's that kind of character, is what I hear. So if he did remain, I don't think he caused any problems. But I think for himself, maybe moving on would be the best deal for him. I like John, but for me, this is for Billy Allison. I like John, but for me, we need to bring in some competition for him. There's too many wayward passes and doesn't always track back to hit out in defence. Yeah, I've got it a few times yesterday. As I say, but Jones does as well because, well, obviously Jones is playing in front of Smith now on the right, so yeah. But even when he was right back, a right wing back, both him and Giles were flawed defensively. They're fairly quick, they're direct, they like to go up there, they like to get balls in, but they need to get back. Those guys are probably doing the hardest job of all when they were wing backs. But now Jones is in front of Smith, so Smith's giving him a helping hand. And on the left, if Giles overlaps, then McGree or Watmore or whoever is helping out him. So we're getting more help now. Crowds seem flat because we haven't got a catchy song at the minute. This is for Matt Seam. The Carrick song on the terrace is poor. We need a new catchy tune like we had last year with Crooks's hair. Mark, that's fair enough. Do you want me to get in touch with Morrissey and ask him if he'll write a lyric or two about Middlesbrough? So Mark Seaman, obviously he's a big fan of Middlesbrough and knows all the chants. He's because I was saying that I felt, despite the capacity crowd, wee bit flat. Maybe it was I was going to say overdose. Maybe it was after the drinking and the food, and maybe everybody was just a bit down, too heavy or felt more lethargic. And Mark's saying that the Carrick song, The Terrace, is poor. We need a new catchy tune like we had last year with Crooks's hair. Yeah, fair enough, Mark. We'll try and get it going. Anybody, any lyrics for the new song for the Borough fans? Won't be surprised if Muniz goes back to film in January. Yeah, well, Muniz hasn't really featured. Who came off the bench yesterday? There were a few come off. On the bench yesterday, there was Mort, McGree, Hop came on, didn't he? Mort came on. He was one of the first to come on. Hey, look, yeah, there'll be a few that's not happy, but the coach, Carrick, has to get the balance right. He has to make sure that the players that are on the bench are, I'm not saying content, but can live with it without disruption. In my day, I was a disruptive character. I was. And I don't think I could tolerate people like me. If they're on the bench, not getting a game, think they should be in there. But I was sensible enough to know if the team's playing well and winning like we are now, and centre forwards are scoring goals like we are now, I would know I couldn't get in the team. So I would be settling on the bench. So the lads at the minute, I think within they have to think, you know what? I'm pissed off that Carrick's not picking me for the off, but I can't get in at the minute. I need to bide my time because the lads are doing well. Hi, Benny. Merry Christmas. All the best for Steve Sanderson. All the best to you, Steve. Happy Christmas and all that. Paul Mack says, need a new right midfielder and left back so we can push Giles further forward as he can't defend, but delivery is second to none. But Paul, again, I was talking to some of my former pro mates yesterday, and we were discussing that about getting a full back and pushing Giles on one. But he might not be as effective if you put him to the outside left. I know he doesn't have to do, he still has to do a bit to help whoever's behind him. But coming for deep and with the guy in front moving inwards and him being allowed that up and down, and with the right back of the opposition team having to push him and the ball's on the opposite side, he can still keep his shape. All that might close down. The space might evaporate, disappear, might not be as effective. It's like me up against, and I'm seeing Akpom doing it. Akpom's doing what I've done. I'm not talking about scoring goals, I'm talking about movement. So he either goes up front against the two centre-backs, or he drifts 30, 40 yards into the midfield where they're all picked up, and he gets turned and he's facing the play. And that's what Akpom's doing. And that's what I've done. I used to go deep, like Ian Baird, Paul Wilkinson, go up there, get the bash in the nose and whatever, and I would try and get the ball. And my idea, I could play it to the front man and get it back and then play it wide, and then get in the box. And that's what we seem to be doing at the minute. But if I was up against two big hairy ass centre-backs every week, I wouldn't have scored many goals. But I know what you're saying. I wonder if we look to buy Giles in January. I tell you what, he costs a few quid at a minute. I don't know what he costs, but I don't know what money's available. I say I've never got involved in the financial structure of Middlesbrough, of our club, and I wouldn't fake it and say, oh, I know this now. I don't know anything about the financial structure. But if it was a lot of money, I don't think I think it'd be a few quid now. Don't forget, when we get players on loan, we're giving them a platform, we're giving them a short window, and if they blossom, they head off because they're not a player. Yeah, we're getting a bit off them, but other clubs are getting a bit off them. They'll see the talent that Giles has got. I looked at you, he's been around a lot of his lower clubs. Then he went to Wolves, and then he was out here, and then he was out there, and he's came to Middlesbrough, and he's really came to life. I wonder if we look to buy Giles in January. I think with Carrick, we'll have a bit pulling power now to bring 2 or 3 in January. Well, pulling power as in with money behind him, or do you mean for Man United, Dean? Giles must be signed for Trevor. Well, any Borough fan that watches Giles, I still hear the criticism of the defensive. Forget that in a minute. The attacking wise, how good is he going forward? How good is his deliveries? He's my biggest line of supply. If, God forbid, if he get injured, who else is supplies? Jones is hitty missy. Hackney still fairly raw, not created a great deal, kept the ball well and picked forward thinking passes. That's good. Doesn't score a lot. Howson doesn't create a lot. He's a true pro for us, 110%, man. He's a disruptor. He's not a creator in any way, shape or form. So who would create the goals for the front man? So where am I now? Sorry. So Stephen May says, love the new look, Team Benny. Chuba, leaps and bounds. Hackney, hidden gem. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You legend. Thank you, Stephen. Then Happy Christmas, New Year to you. Akpom must have had his jollof rice. Julie Henry, hello, Julie. Is there a joke in there, Julie? What? Is it your spelling or is it me reading it? Akpom must have had his jollof rice. Laugh out loud up the Borough. Tell me the joke, Julie. It's right on my head. I'm not the quickest, you know that. I've never been quick. What if Will's asked 10 million for Giles? Well, that's the end of that then, isn't it? Go on. That's the end of that. You don't need to go any further than that. 10 million. Well, can you see spending 10 million on a full back, wing back, whatever? Won't happen. Merry Christmas. Definitely looking up for the Borough. Donna Law. Short and sweet for Donna. Joey says Hackney was out on loan at Scunny a few times. He's done well. No, he has, Joey. No, we're talking about Giles being out on loan as well. He was bobbing about lower division clubs. Donna Law says, hi, Merry Christmas. Feels like we have a new signing with Akpom. I'm sure Akpom, I'd love to chat to Akpom. I'm sure Akpom believes in himself, but under Warnock, Wilder, we weren't playing the right style of football and brand of football. I wouldn't have liked to play under, I maybe have liked to have played under Wilder to a degree. I'd be wrong in saying that. Warnock, I wouldn't have liked to play under Warnock. Wouldn't have liked to play under Karanka. Would have despaired to play under Pulis. They wouldn't have helped me in any way, shape or form. I was talking today, the late great Jack Charlton done brilliant for Middlesbrough. Done brilliant for the Republic. I was part of the squad. World Cup 1990. And I had a choice. I've mentioned this before. And I went with Jack. And it was the right decision. We got to quarter-final World Cup. I got 7 caps. I was 29, one of the oldest caps for Ireland. But in hindsight, Jack's style of football and brand of football was long ball. It was defensive. John Aldridge, I was discussing this yesterday the other day to somebody. John Aldridge, prolific scorer in his career, great scorer for Liverpool, great scorer for Real Sociedad, ended up at Tranmere's, banged in the goals. It took him, I think it was 18 games to score his first Republic goal. And when I joined him, I was lucky to score 1 in the first game, but that's a stroke of luck. But I'm thinking, a guy like John Aldridge, how on earth has he got 1 in 18? But when I joined the squad for a 3-year period, I found out exactly why. Everything was geared around the giants. Niall Quinn, Tony Cascarino. The wee guys had to, if Kevin Sheedy got it on the left, the wee guy had to go out and try and play a 1-2, and that would drag the defender at the centre half, get the ball in, and the big man was there to score the goals. So Cascarino and Quinny probably get more goals than John Aldridge, which is obscene because John Aldridge was don't get me wrong, they were good players and finishers as well, but John Aldridge, with his background and the DNA of scoring goals for Liverpool, top clubs, with the Republic, it was very hard work. So it depends what manager you are to blossom. Carrick's come in, scrapped the 3 centre-backs, got Fuzz to run about, get Akpom to enjoy it and score a few goals, anticipate things, Giles to get the ball in where he wants them, and everybody's winning. Champ was amazing for Borough, Platt, Mills, Hickton, Fogan, etc. Stephen Horn. Excuse me. Hey, I'm not running Jack down. Jack was the top man. Loved everything about him. God rest him. Loved him. Straight talker. No bullshit. No spin. No propaganda. Would tell you straight to your face what he thought. Would never ever stab anybody in the back. And if you've not watched his documentary, it's called Finding Jack. If you don't shed a tear, you're not human. But if you've not watched it, try and watch it. Yeah, it's great. Really great. Sad. Listening to Dean Saunders on TalkSport Radio this morning, Bernie, he was talking about just do your job on the pitch. This is for Graham Madison. As a footballer, if you're a defender, defend, striker scores goals, etc., could be Carrick's mentality. I've said that for years. If you're a winger, you have to get at least, you have to go up with something in your head. I'm going to try and get 11, 15 good balls into the box, 90 minutes. You might not achieve it. If you're a striker, I'm going to get about 8, 10 shots off every game. I had that mentality. I didn't achieve it every week. Mark McDonald, way before me, top striker in England at the time, he used to get that mentality. You have to go out with a one-track mind, be a selfish individual, harnessed onto the team, but super confident. I'm not talking about outwardly shouting from the rooftops, I'm the top man and I've got a swagger and I'm the best here. Do it on the park and believe you are. Be selfish. Good strikers are selfish. They're hungry, they're selfish, they're direct, and they're not shy. That's what good strikers are. And they score goals. A lot of modern strikers, for me, pick up the money, and I think they count the money more than their goals. I hope Akpom's counting his goals as much as he is his money. I'm sure he is. He looks a decent lad. But we've had some strikers in the past. Don't forget Big Mido. Dear God. If he had the appetite for the game the way he did for the Pantry, he'd have been some player, that big man. And he was a good player, but he... Merry Christmas, Bernie. Steve McGree. Merry Christmas to you. Craig Basher says, new goalkeeper. Look, Stefan's come in. When I first seen him, the first 3-4 games, I was critical because of the amount of times he came away with his goal. I said he's going to get chipped one game. It's not happened as yet, but he nearly get chipped the first 5-6 games. 2 balls went over his head. One went over the crossbar just. Another one, I think, Paddy McNair ended up in the back of the net like a big cod because of him coming out his goal. Doesn't from Roberts for me, the brief spell I've seen Roberts looks as good as Stefan. Why Stefan came to Middlesbrough? I think Stefan initially came, obviously he's not going to get a game at 10 minutes. He's not going to get a game at Man City, I wouldn't think. But I think he came in the shop window to try and get into the World Cup squad. And that didn't materialise, unfortunately for him. I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper, but he still gives me the jitters sometimes when he wanders and doesn't catch things. It's Florida, and you're more than welcome to David Baker. So I'm going to Florida to show my Taja in his front window if Middlesbrough get promotion. The missus might draw the line. I thought you were going to say draw the curtains at the full frontal in the front window. I wish she won't. Craig Dale says, Billy Allison, he's been very poor for me now. I get shot, very frustrating, can't beat the first man. Want it on the left back. Fantastic win yesterday, Bernie. Daniel Page. 20 million for Akpom, that's what Coventry wanted for us. Can I pronounce that? Gerokeris. Is that a Greek club? 20 million for Akpom. Imagine we get 20 million. How many hat-tricks did you score for the Borough, Bernard? I actually put a wee picture just promoting that I was on here. For Middlesbrough, how many hat-tricks did you score for the Borough? Scored 7. So it was 8 years, I scored 7. I was fortunate to score in every division. The best one that people tell me is against Coventry in the top flight. We won 4-3. Matt Butt scored the all decisive 4th. I scored 3. Kevin Sheedy scored 3. If you've not seen it, if you're a young kid and you're thinking, who the blinking hell are you? And black and white back in your day. No, it wasn't. It's actually colour. You can see it on YouTube. So yeah, 7 hat-tricks, 10 hat-tricks in my career. I say I count my career as a 10-year career. I was a late developer or late getting an introduction, getting an opportunity. So yeah. I've got balls, put it that way. Annette, sorry Annette, I'm allowed to say that. If we get promoted, full front on Phoenix window in Newcastle would be great, Benny. Oh, I tell you what, Colin, I'd love to give it to those Geordies. I mean a Flash. Oh, imagine that. They'd put the windows in that lot. Saying that, the Geordies. Hey, by the way, I've got all these and I've not read any of them. I've got boatloads. I'll keep them because I'm going to be on Thursday. We play Birmingham, innit? So I'll be on Thursday at 10 o'clock again discussing the game. So I'll read them. I'll definitely read them Thursday. I'll try and read them out. Yeah, imagine in Phoenix. Flashing there. I lost my train of thought there. Paddy gave me his poppy shirt last week. Is he off for Joey Henry? Well, it doesn't mean he's off if he gives you his poppy shirt. He obviously sees you, Julie, as an ardent Borough fan who travels up and down the country, and it's probably a bit of respect for you as a Borough fan and the money you pile into the club and give your support. He'd probably just give it as a gesture. But it wouldn't surprise me. Good win for the Borough yesterday. Daniel Jones, it was Daniel Pegg says, will you be in the Hardwick suite for the FA Cup game, Bernie? Because me and my dad and my sister boyfriend will be there in the Hardwick suite at the FA Cup match versus Brighton. Bernie, thanks. Daniel Peggs? No, sorry. That's good news for you, innit? I bet you were thinking, oh, I hope he's no. No. Daniel, I'm in the Legends Lounge every game. So I take it I'm in the Legends Lounge for the FA Cup game. So no, I won't be. I don't know who. I couldn't even tell you who's going to be in because I think they just juggle everything. Well, they do juggle everything, and no, I don't know who's where and who's going to be in one game, who's out the next. I've not got a clue. I hardly know what I'm doing, let alone anybody else. So yeah, there's been a lot of disruption, and yeah. So I'm definitely not in it, Daniel. But have a great time. Morrissey song for the Borough. Laugh my ass off, Colin said. It was only a suggestion, Colin. Borough fan was claiming that the new song for Carrick's Tosh, he wants new lyrics, and I thought, what better lyricist than Morrissey? Any Morrissey fans? No Morrissey. Tell you, Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane's related to Morrissey. Robbie, if anybody knows Robbie, get in touch with Robbie. See, Billy Slim says, can Mozza write a few lyrics for the Borough, for the 12th man, about Michael Carrick? And I like Michael Carrick because Mozza's a Man United fan. He wrote a song, Roy Keane, didn't he? Have you heard that, Roy's Keane? There's a wee slant that's not about football, but if you listen to that Roy's Keane, lyrics are funny, hilarious, I think so. and he wrote one obviously about the disaster. Stephen Wigan says, "Hi Bernie, season's greeting from a cold and snowy Canada." Stephen, all the best to you in Canada. I bet it's beautiful. Really enjoyed yesterday's game, but Wigan created too many good chances. The result wasn't as comfortable as the scoreline suggests. That's a fair point as well, Stephen. We had a couple of chances early doors. And then when we went ahead, we looked fine. And then they scored one, then they missed one. If that was 3-2, then the pressure was on. There was about 6 minutes up on the board. So I agree with you, what you were saying. Where are we? Hold on. Canada. I looked today, actually. I'm not really into the technology. I'm no wizard, but I seen the day and it shows you who tunes in. No names, just countries and whatever. And Canada was one of them, and America and Australia and all this. Amazing, isn't it? What you can do now. Have you seen the Christmas dinner video? Laugh out loud. That's what he has for Christmas dinner. No, watched it. Marcel says, talking about a new song, here's one I've just quickly knocked off. The tune of Slade's Merry Christmas. I'm not going to sing it, so he Chuba Akpom scoring loads of goals for fun. Look to the future now. We're going for promotion. Hey, Matt, that's quite rhythmical. But the lad wants it for Michael Carrick. That's very good. I'll tell you what, you put Robbie Bunce to shame. Leslie Coates says, Big Jack would say, you can have the scraps, Bernie. I was on the next table to him at the Riverside event. Had dinner with him. By God, I bet he loved you, Leslie. I bet you were munching. I bet you didn't shut your mouth. I don't mean talking, I mean when you were eating. Hey, I bet you were eating like a cow, chewing. New talk, Bernie? Have you won a bet? No, I've not won any bet. You don't know any, class. When you see it. Simon Denham says, hi, Bernie. I thought Watmore played very well yesterday, going forward, some great run. Simon, I was really impressed with Watmore yesterday. He seemed better in the role he was given. He kept retention of the ball. He was beating men. He's always worked hard. I describe him as a hosepipe sometimes, but he was really, really good, and he made the first goal and got us on the way. So, yeah, credit to Watmore. I was there, Bernie, Coventry away. David Speedy also got a hat-trick. Yeah, I mean, I still got asked that question now, Graham, who kept the ball? David Speedy was so pissed off that he scored a hat-trick, but we won 4-3 at their ground. Well, I get the first hat-trick, so I thought I was getting the ball anyway, but there was no fight for it. I just lifted it and took it. Paul Gamble says, fancy at least a draw against Blackburn, Bernie, but they've been hit and miss bit lately, losing to Sunderland 1-1. Any memories against Rovers? Blackburn Rovers. I scored against Rovers, but I remember going to Rovers with Army Brownlee for the commentary, and it was cancelled. I thought, dear God, and then we had to go away and it was replayed. I don't know if it was a cup game. And did Jimmy Floyd score a hat-trick there one game? I think Jimmy Floyd scored a hat-trick down there. I think that's probably my memory. He was some striker, Jimmy Floyd. Him and Viduka, what a partnership they were. Right, so I'll tell you what, I'll read. We're finishing anyway, I've got 3 minutes. I'll read one of these and I'll keep the other three for Thursday. So I'm back Thursday. Thanks for joining us. I need to thank the sponsors again, and I'll read these few questions. Thanks to Cornerstone, Galaxy Blinds, Borough Museum, RWTA, Richard Wills Training Associates, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cleveland Systems Engineering, and TGM Cars. And thank yous for obviously watching. So I'm back again Thursday. I went to that game, we won 4-0, Hasselbank hat-trick, I remember that. Downing was on fire as well. Craig out for Paul. Craig says, Rovers only team not to draw this season. So one each, Bernie. Right, I'm going to read these and that's just finished, yeah? Wolfman, I hope you had a great Christmas. How good was yesterday? Excuse me, well, I've mentioned that throughout. Very good, very creative, good in the eye, exciting, free-flowing, and 4 great goals. Akpom Norm says, Akpom going to break the 20-goal barrier, Bernie. What do you think? Well, with 20 games left, 12 in the bag, I don't see any reason why he can't. I gave a number of reasons earlier why he might not, but hey, come on, I think if he keeps it going, the team keep in the rich vein of form, I'm sure he can do it. Terry said, very impressed with the crowd and the performance against Wigan, Bernie. Well, the crowd, I thought was a wee bit flat. I know the fans have been brilliant all season, every season, side and Teesside, and the away fans are magnificent. I just thought maybe the hungover and with the alcohol and too much delving into the old turkey or whatever it was. Anyway, Terry says, no. Nelly says, Bernie, are you surprised that the first Borough player to score a hat-trick since 2016? He says, well, I hear it was 2018 with Patrick Bamford. Well, not really. Some of the duffers we've had over recent years. Bob says, if only we could have a capacity crowd every week. Well, I'll tell you what, yesterday was a hook to bring fans back. That's how you get fans back. A lot of fans yesterday come out the closet, if you know what I mean. Come out the closet, turn up, come out in their droves and families, and a lot of them are there in the Prawn Simons Brigade having their grub. But they might be impressed, so impressed, and think, do you know what? I might go back again. I've got the bug now. And we winning 4 and putting on a show, we may have hooked a right few thousand in. Hopefully we have. What has Carrick done differently from Weldon Warnock? Well, the formation, I've mentioned it earlier, same team. It's simplistic things, and it works. Because players get simple minds. And it's a simple game. So, nothing out of the ordinary. Keeping that same team is I know more than Carrick about Middlesbrough. I've watched them, played for them. I've been here for 37, 8 years. I've said this for 2 years, 3 years on here. Why don't we go 4 at the back? Why can't we play 4 at the back? Why do we keep chopping and changing? He's come in and went, there you go. Brilliant. And last but not least, defo top 6 finish. What do you think, Wolfie? That's for Colin. Colin, I'll tell you Thursday. Thanks for watching. Up the Borough. Yeah, Thursday. See you Thursday. Up the Borough. Thanks for watching. I'll be with you in a minute. You got all this right because I missed it the other week. Next, and then 30 days. That's it. Okay, and this one. Thanks for watching on YouTube. I will get used to it. There's a few here. Chat was amazing for Borough. I read that, yeah. And then they put, were you at Borough, Bernie? Billy Ashcroft played. I was at a little before you. No, Big Billy played before me. I know Billy well. He's a great guy. What's the best moment in your career for Stewie Griffin? Really getting Chelsea to Stamford Bridge. That was my best time at Borough. The best thing at Borough. Cheers, Bernie. I'll be tuning in Thursday. All the best for the new year to you and your wife, Stephen. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see if we can get it.